What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour on 990 WPOB, the number one radio program for all things Bryant Athletics. I'm your host, Brian Kostiw, reporting to you remotely. I'm joined alongside, as always, by Matthew Carvalho in our Sprout co-working studios. Matt, how you doing this evening?
Oh, Brian, I'm doing as great as I can hearing your wonderful voice on these
Absolutely.
airwaves. How are you?
Absolutely. Well, listen, Matt, I'm doing great. We have a fantastic show in store for you. Coming up in just a couple minutes, our first guest of the evening is the architect behind this show and the associate director for Bryant Athletic Communications, Mr. Tristan Hobbes. He'll be joining us very shortly.
Go.
Then we'll welcome back a familiar friend of the show and head football coach Chris Merritt to talk some Bryant football, Bryant Pro Day, and all that. And then to wrap up the show, we'll talk with Carlos Irizarry from the Bryant baseball team to discuss his journey to Smithfield and his outstanding performance this weekend. So listen, Matt, it's going to be a great show. Really excited for all of it. But without any further ado, let's welcome in our first guest of the evening, Tristan Hobbes. He's joining us via the Sprout Co-working Hotline. For all your co-working needs, large or small, visit sproutcoworking.com. Tristan, how you doing tonight?
Good. I didn't realize I was going to jump right on the show like this.
Oh, it's all good. No, I was about to say, we'll jump right into it because obviously, we're just kind of getting into the swing of things here. Tristan, obviously, back on the show, it's been, you led this thing off with episode 1 way back in August, and been really glad to, have your support throughout this process and getting here. But, we'll just kind of start from here. Obviously, with you being the SID for Bryant baseball, we'll kind of discuss some stuff with that. Opening day in the MLB has come and gone, and there were so many Bulldogs kind of making the names for themselves in spring training. Let's kind of just get a kind of start off with that and your overall thoughts.
First, we're going to have to change the night of this show. Monday night class is undefeated at Bryant. The amount of student athletes that we've wanted to have on this show that we've been unable to because of night class has been striking. So we might have to make that change for next semester.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say it's definitely taken out some of the many guests that we wanted to have on this show. I can definitely say that we've had our many battles with that.
Oh yeah, I mean the list of student athletes that have been unable to do it is like a list of who's who.
Yeah. That's what happens when you have a high academic institution like Bryant. You're going to have these student athletes in these night classes, doing very well in their studies as well. So it just kind of comes with the territory.
For all those folks that out there that don't understand it, Monday night class is like the most popular night class for student athletes because they miss so many other Thursday, Friday commitments.
Yeah.
That they have to take class on Monday night. That's when most teams' off days are.
Yeah.
So it just works out that way. Speaking of baseball, like them in softball spend the first 5 weeks of the season traveling on Thursday, Friday. So it's really difficult to get to those classes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really tough. It is a tough kind of luck of the draw with how that all kind of winds up. I guess, in terms of baseball this weekend, they took 2 out of 3 from NJIT. They also got the win over down at URI. From your perspective, what did you kind of see from the guys, this weekend, and what you kind of like?
It's pretty relentless in terms of, you give up 5 in the top of the 8th, and it seems as if the day is ruined. And then you respond with 8 in the bottom of the 8th to win the series. It's pretty remarkable. And a lot of the guys have used the word relentless, and it's pretty special to see this early in the season, especially with the way that the world works in terms of trying to build a new team every year, that they've bought into what Coach Klosterman is preaching. And they're playing together as a team. It's very special to watch. And I sent over the stats for the first 25 games that Bryant baseball has played every Division I season today to the coaching staff and said, hey, if you're bored on a Monday, and it's fascinating to look at like the 25 game splits for the first 16 seasons of Division I baseball. And this is in terms of record wise, one of their best 25 game starts. But it's a good team. It's a fun team. You'll talk to Carlos later. He brings a lot of energy to this group. but I mean, Sunday was wild, and it's hard. I think you sometimes forget that a doubleheader means you're there at 8 a.m. and you don't leave till 7 p.m. if you're one of the ball players. So
Yeah.
that's as Casey Wensley said yesterday post game, it's a full work day.
Yeah.
And these guys go to work. They're enjoying it, and obviously a big game tomorrow with Brown, a team that took 3 or 4 last year against the Bulldogs. So it just keeps going.
Yeah, absolutely. That relentless attitude you kind of talked about with this team, it's something that you can really see on a day-and-day basis. I think it's what now 3 or 4, stolen bases of home, like, already this season. It's been incredible. I mean, just what has this kind of just been like, just the excitement, with the guys and just that kind of, I guess, mentality?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to Mel Graham, the athletic trainer, and she said that Danny Nearai, who's the first base coach, she's the third assistant. He played at UCF and Notre Dame. He was a catcher, and I don't know how many career stolen bases he had, but I know it's not a lot. But I guess he implemented a new philosophy this year with the group. I mean, they've stolen 76 bases in 25 games.
It's incredible.
The program record's 98.
And we haven't even reached April. Unbelievable.
I mean, it's crazy. But the stealing of home has always been something that Ryan Klosterman has had up his sleeve. And as much as you're aware of it, as much as you think that you're ready in case it happens, it gets the heart rate going.
Yeah.
And Bryant's lucky to have. I mean, Gavin Gregor and Hunter Kingsbury, both plus speed guys that have been able to do it. And then even if you sniff it out, at Radford, Carlos Irizarry breaks for home. The catcher steps out too early. Catcher's interference. Run still counts. Doesn't count as a stolen base of home, but the result is the same. So even if you can sniff it out and being able to have patience and stay back and catch it and then make the tag, it's a lot going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess before we go to commercial, you kind of talked about it with, sending over the stats of the last 25 years and 16 seasons of Division One ball. And, for Bryant across these past couple of years and, throughout that time, it has really just been, a continuance of, just dominance for this group. And, whether you go back to the Division Two days with, Hall of Fame coach John Sjogren or Hall of Fame coach Steve Owens, who really led the charge in, the 2010s, and now Coach Klosterman, who's done a fantastic job since he's come over here. I guess what would you kind of pinpoint as like just the special thing that has really, I guess, linked that coaching staff, these players, and really led Bryant to remaining a power in Northeast baseball?
They play with a purpose, passion. They have, I think, relentless is a great way to say. I mean, it's to do what they've done with how you have to do it as a Northeast school. And that's not just us. That's UConn, that's Northeastern, that's Boston College, that's all these programs in our area that have succeeded in the last 15, 20 years. Is you have to have the ability to go on the road for 5 straight weekends to start the year. You have to be able to play indoors all of January while your competitors are outside. And I think that just breeds a relentlessness that like helps you. It certainly is something that like not everybody has. And I think all 4 coaches that you mentioned, Sjogren, Penzino, Owens, and Klosterman, all have focused their recruitment efforts, and they've brought in the right guys, which is important. I mean,
Absolutely.
the transfer portal is a crazy game, but it can also benefit you when you're able to identify and recruit guys that are going to make your program better.
Absolutely. Well, Tristan, listen, we're going to go off to a quick commercial break. We'll be back with you on the other side of that break. We'll talk about some pro dogs that have been making some moves across major and minor league baseball and kind of get into that when we're back. Don't go anywhere. It's Kostiw, Carvalho, and Tristan Hobbes with you here on 990 WBOB. Back with you now on the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour here on 990 WBOB. Brian Kostiw and Matthew Carvalho as your hosts. Tristan Hobbes in with us to carry us into this next segment. Before we get to that next segment, we just want to pay the bills real quick. Tell you that tonight's broadcasts are brought to you by Sprout Co-working. For all your co-working needs, large meetings, office for a day, working remotely, events, or just trying to get away from the distractions at home, Sprout Co-working in Providence, Rhode Island is the place for you. The official co-working home of 990 WBOB. We're back now with Tristan Hobbes here on the show. We opened up talking some Bryant baseball and the current happenings of the team. Obviously, we'll have Carlos Irizarry in the 8:45 slot to wrap things up. But Tristan, opening day for Major League Baseball has come and gone. As we kind of talked in the opening part of the show, we have some, Bulldogs trying to make, the rounds in the majors. I guess let's start with one that is kind of interesting me and probably interesting you with your Tigers right now. We have Tyler Madison right now in AAA for the Tigers. I know that, yourself a big Tigers fan. He was a stud here when he came up. His fastball is really ramped up, and was reading some stuff up on him lately that, a lot of teams are saying that he's a lot closer to the majors than a lot of people are maybe thinking. Just a guy like that, what are your overall thoughts with, some of these pro dogs, in their path to the major leagues?
Yeah, opening day was awesome. Tara Skubal, Kevin McGonigal, future. I got to stay up tonight, though. The Tigers are in Arizona.
Oh,
10-10
it's the worst.
First pitch. Brutal.
That's the worst.
Justin Verlander, though, makes his first start tonight.
Okay. Yeah, the homecoming.
Yeah, but Tyler Madison, he got to pitch against the Dominican team down in the Dominican Republic during spring training, which was really good for him. And when they cut him, they made their cuts. The comments from AJ Hinch were very positive. He has some things to work on. He's got the stuff. He just needs to hone it. What was happening? He was just getting too one pitch centric, and that wasn't not going to play in the big leagues. But the comments you're talking about, Brian, he is much closer than a lot of people think. Obviously, Tommy John set him back a little bit. He had an unbelievable 2024 season, I believe, but missed most of last year with Tommy John. And Tyler Schaff, same draft class as Tyler Madison, also had Tommy John. He's trying to regain his stature this year in the national system. He'll be in Double-A Harrisburg to start. Yep. It's tough. It's tough when you get hurt. That's what makes Mickey Gasper so impressive. Is he's been doing it since 2018 in the Yankees farm system, with the Twins, with the Red Sox. He's in AAA Worcester, so all of our Bulldogs that are in the area get a chance to go out and see him before he gets called up to Fenway, hopefully. He got a chance to see a lot of time last year with the Twins, and Rocco Baldelli as his manager, which is pretty cool. But T-Mac, I mean, it's funny that his first career appearance maybe was against Auburn and Casey Mize, was the number one draft pick in that class in 2018. And then 2020 was supposed to be his year, him and Tyler Schaff, Klosterman's first year. And both of them, I mean, I think they're lucky that COVID hit. Those two guys were struggling. And then they came back in 2021 and they were both unbelievable.
Yeah.
Tyler Madison was the pitcher of the year in the conference, and Tyler Schaff had one of the coolest moments of all time. I want to say his mom passed away due to cancer during the season or in the off season, and he pitched like 8 innings, 1 run, struck out 8 in the conference tournament. And like he walked up the stands after the game and hugged his dad. And it was like one of the most emotional things I've ever witnessed in my life. Yeah. But like he was unbelievable, like 94 with run and like an ungodly breaking ball. And he's turned himself into a great pro reliever who could get a shot. Brett Witrowski, who's running up to almost 100. He's in Double-A in the Brewers with Biloxi. James Karinchak, the King, back at it. AAA with the Braves, made his first appearance over the weekend. Got 2 outs in a relief appearance. He's on the possibility of being up in the big leagues again. God, he was fun to watch. 112 strikeouts in 2016. I mean, just absurd numbers that will never be matched. I don't think at Bryant. I don't think anybody's ever going to strike out 112 batters again.
Yeah.
His 2016 season was just unconscious.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. You kind of mentioned Mickey Gasper, who's in Worcester with my Red Sox right now, and it's great to see him back here in Boston, and even in Worcester and doing his thing there. I know when he in his first stint with the Red Sox in 2024, I know you got to make a stop up to Polar Park and see him play, and maybe get a chance to catch up with him. What was that like? After all those years, just getting a chance to see him and kind of reconnect.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's nice that they remember you.
Yeah.
And Mickey's one of those guys that he was on the team when I still traveled with them a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't get to travel as much anymore. But his era was when I got to travel a lot. So I got to, for 4 years, I was on the bus with those guys. From Arkansas to New Mexico State to the regional in Virginia to where else did we go? Arizona.
Wow.
We went to a lot of places, and the best part about those trips is like the baseball, but it's also the sitting at hotel breakfast or out to eat and just like chatting with the guys and getting to know them and getting to know what they're doing. And that was he was unbelievable. His freshman year, 2015. We lost in the championship game. 2016, he snuck his way into the lineup with some injuries and ended up hitting almost 400. And then 27 and 2018, he was unbelievable. He set our program record for walks. And he figured out some power as well. I remember a conversation having with Steve Owens at the time. He was upset with how much Mickey Gasper was walking because he was our best hitter. And he was like, if there's guys on second and third, I want you to drive them in. I don't want you to walk. And it was just for me, an eye-opening conversation because I was like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Like you want Mickey go up there and like swing. You don't want him to take walks, but he was so patient. And he was a switch hitter at the time. I think he still is a little bit. And just a really, really good player and a good catcher and a good leader. And like that group was very tight, like him and James and Justin Snyder, Ryan Johnson, all those guys that were in that class were really tight. And it's fun to watch them on social, be able to go and like see those guys play at all the different places.
Yeah, absolutely. And still hyping each other up. It's great to see that kind of, those relationships still kind of be in place there. Obviously some other pro dogs of note, one that's, near and dear, to me, in terms of location is Ryan Ward tearing it up in the Dodger system. Still just looking for him to get that shot. He's excelled every year in AAA and has been a really fun player to watch. I remember for myself when, I was in high school, I went to 2 of the Bryant baseball camps in the summer, and one of the years Ward was there. He was recovering from, I believe it was the arm injury that he had suffered at the start of the year, and he, was like he would play catch with you. He would talk all this stuff, and him being from Millbury, me being from Sutton, we would kind of catch up on some of the local things from there. And just remembering how awesome of a kid he was. He was great to have that kind of a relationship with, and just to talk with him. How was he, I guess, on your end getting to cover him?
Unbelievable. It was really tough his freshman year. He hit 2 home runs at New Mexico State. And then our next weekend, we were Arkansas. I think he homered at Arkansas. And then he broke his wrist.
Yeah.
And his freshman season was over.
Yeah.
And then he had 102 hits in 2018 and was the National Freshman of the Year.
Yeah.
But just like a guy that didn't want any sort of limelight, he just wanted to go out and hit.
Yeah.
And win ball games. He went from being our left fielder, and we had We had injuries in 2018, and he shifted to be our second baseman.
Yeah.
And was a pretty good second baseman for 45 games. And was National Freshman of the Year. He was Player Rookie of the Year in New England and in our conference. Um, and he's had I mean, he might be the mayor of Oklahoma City before it's all said and done.
You have a good point there. He is really he tears it up there every single year. It's unbelievable. I mean, the crazy thing about him is he came up as a catcher, back in high school. He was a catcher from Millbury. And, when people saw him go into the outfield, I remember there was a lot of confusion as to, oh, wait, he's going to go there? Like, what are they doing? And, he made the transition really well and just a terrific athlete. And I remember
He was so good.
I remember my accepted students day at Bryant. I had a chance to go out to the field and watch the game. And, you see the crowd out there in center field having a great time, cheering on the team. And I remember he put a ball, I think, halfway into the softball field against Fairleigh Dickinson. And then the next at bat, he comes up and, after displaying that kind of power, he then hits a ball, I think hits it like a mile into the sky. And it drops between like the center fielder and left fielder. And his hustle, he just knew to hustle it out and ended up getting a double out of it. And it was just, a relentless kind of player like him. Really loved watching him play.
In his walkout song was like the perfect walkout song.
Yeah.
It was the remix from what's the movie where like you get 24 hours to do whatever you want.
The Purge.
It was The Purge, like the
yeah.
And it was just like, oh God, this guy's up again.
It was one of those things I remember in that game I watched. I was like, wait, he's already up again and just already making plays out there.
It seemed as if we skipped 5 batters and just like, all right, hey, Ryan, go hit again.
I think you have a good point there. That is how it kind of felt watching him. It was unbelievable.
The thing that's crazy though is like winning is hard. We talked in the beginning about this program. I mean, it's won the second most games in New England since it went Division I. Only UConn has more wins. It's like 570 wins or something like that in the last 17 years.
Yeah,
and winning is hard. They're averaging like over 30 wins a year. And like we're talking about these guys like Mickey Gasper still playing, Ryan Ward still playing, Chris Wright still kind of out there trying to get back from arm injury. Like they never won championships.
Yeah,
like winning is hard. Yeah. Like that 2019 team, like with Chris Wright, Jimmy Titus, Ryan Ward, those guys, they won 40 games and lost in the conference championship. Yeah. Like you had a staff headlined by T-Matt and Tyler Schaff, both guys still pitching in pro ball. Lost in the championship. Like that's it's people, you take it for granted sometimes, but winning is really hard. And this program has won consistently over and over and over again, which is like incredible. And it's a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. It's been really fun to watch. Well, Tristan, we thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk some Bryant baseball with us. It's going to be a very Bryant baseball centric show, but we really do appreciate it.
Make sure you ask Coach Merritt about if he got a haircut with the barber. The barber came in yesterday for football. Make sure you ask Coach Merritt if he got touched up or not.
Okay, I'll pass that along. I'll make sure I get that special request off to him. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tristan.
Have a good night, Brian.
All right. Take care. All right, that was Tristan Hobbes from Bryant Athletics joining us here. We're going to head off to a quick commercial break. When we're back, we're going to be joined alongside by head football coach Chris Merritt. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to 990 WBOB. Welcome back to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour on 990 WBOB. Kostiw and Cavallo with you here on Monday night. We'll be joined alongside by our next guest, head football coach Chris Merritt, in just a couple minutes. Matt, obviously great to have Tristan join us on the show tonight. On your end, just how's your night kind of been going?
Brian, it's been pretty good so far. Great day of programming here at 990. Just getting off the long weekend that was the Elite Eight and the Sweet 16.
Yeah, absolutely. Very action-packed weekend there. Obviously some great stuff in the basketball world there. As we kind of look ahead to the football world, Bryant football held their pro day over in Smithfield, had schools from all over Rhode Island, going out to show out at that, event, had some pro scouts on hand. So we'll be interested maybe to see if there are some more additions on the Pro Dogs football side of things. You obviously have Tom Kennedy, who's the protege for all things, Bryant Bryant Bulldogs in the NFL, him, really balling out with the Lions. He's been great these past couple of years, but you've had some other guys that have really made names for themselves, especially at this kind of level. Kenny Dyson Jr. getting a shot with the Panthers, Landon Ruggieri getting a camp invite with the New York Giants. So, I mean, these kind of pro days, these things, it really does open the door for these athletes. And, it deservedly so. Kenny, when he was here, had a chance to talk with him in the past, was a game wrecker, was unbelievable, and I hope that he can maybe figure something out on that end. Landon Ruggieri, who, had a historic season in 24, in 23, 24 for this team, was unreal. And I mean, I think he might be going to the coaching route now. I don't know exactly what's going to be next for him, but those guys,
receiver.
Absolutely unbelievable.
That 3 touchdown game at Brown a couple seasons ago.
Well, he was doing that. He was returning punts at one point. I mean, he was a do-it-all kind of guy. And, like you said, that in that 3 touchdown game where Bryant went on to win that one, it was a really clutch play for him, when he actually made that, when he caught that fade ball in the end zone. He had that kind of thing about him too, which was awesome to see. So we'll have to kind of see how this all works out with Bryant football here. Coach will talk to us about pro day. We'll talk about spring ball and everything that comes up with that. So we'll have to see kind of what Coach Merritt's schedule looks like as we get into it. But obviously, Coach Merritt, a good friend of the program. We've talked with him, throughout all of last year. We've talked to him a couple times in the offseason as well, with his alma mater, Indiana, winning the national championship at the FBS level. We've talked about, in the past of, guys in the portal, things like that, and, building a new team. And whether that's guys like, Elijah Elliott, who we brought in last year from Montana State, who really balled out, to name a few guys. He's been able to really bring in some solid players to this team. And, for a program that is finally playing, back-to-back seasons in the same conference, he's done a great job of, helping those athletes, maintain and kind of stay at this level and really make that transition well. One of the guys that I'm looking forward to discussing with him would be Michael Oddie, who really, excelled for Bryant, was hurt, not this past year, but the year prior, and really had a chance to ball out for this team. And, Coach Merritt would say it, routinely on the show that they were a different team with Michael Oddie on the field, and really just excelled day in and day out, and, just changed that defense for him and really helped win them some of those games in that season. So we'll kind of have to see what that looks like with them. We do have Coach Merritt joining us on the line here. Coach Merritt, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Coach. How you doing tonight?
Awesome. How you doing?
Doing great, Coach. Well, listen, we'll jump right into it. Actually, the architect behind the show, Tristan Hobbes, had a quick question for you. It was if you touched up by the barber, the other day.
I'm lacking material to be touched up by the barber there. It was great to get the kids set up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, I know you guys just had your pro day, a couple days ago, and spring ball starting up for you. We'll start with pro day. Obviously, just schools from all over the state coming in. Just your immediate reactions.
Well, that was awesome. Coach Jones did a great job setting it up. We had just under 20 NFL scouts there to look at our guys. We had 4 guys participate, as well as a handful from Rhode Island and Brown, and I think one other school. And thought our guys went out there and represented well. And I know Michael Oddie, for one, had a really good showing. So we'll see what's in the stars for him.
Absolutely. I was actually just saying before you came on, you would say routinely that, your defense was, vastly different when Michael Oddie was on the field for you guys, and just seeing that impact for him, I guess to kind of just reiterate some of the impact that he really had for you guys, I'll kind of give you the floor.
Sure. No, listen, he's a different ball player. He definitely, when he was healthy, we missed him for half the football season in 24, and you can tell the difference. And just having him with us all year last year just was a constant pain in the backside for the offenses that we played. He did a great job of dividing the offense, penetrating in the backfield, creating chaos. And I still, I've said it on many of the other interviews before, I still think that there's a hidden stat there about how many holding calls that you force from your opponents that's not kept. And that's just good as any sack right there. So, Michael had a great career for us, Bulldog through and through. Could have left, but didn't. Came back and is getting his MBA right now, and after this football career is done, he's going to be set up well.
Absolutely. In terms of the future with the program, you guys got spring ball going on right now. I know you guys just got into full pads a couple days ago. Just some of your reactions with that, and how that's all been going.
Sure. So we've got a pretty young group this year. We're in practice number 9 right now, and I believe we've taken the steps to slowly get better and better. Probably going more full contact this spring than we have any other previous spring, just because we need to develop, we need to play football, we need to work and focus on toughness with this group, and we're into our third down installation, so we're going to be hitting third and short tomorrow. So 6:30 in the morning, there's going to be some loud popping of the pads out there.
Absolutely. Really exciting to see. As you guys kind of go through this spring season and, before we do wrap up, just, I guess, what are some of the key things that you want to see out of this group before spring ball lets up?
I look at us and the things that we've got to improve on. We have to improve on limiting our turnovers. And we're making a big emphasis this spring on missed tackles and making people miss. So we're putting our guys every single day in situations where they have to make somebody miss or tackle somebody in the open field. Those are the things that will eliminate the big plays against our defense and create more big plays for our offense. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get more explosive and limit the explosives. And iron sharpens iron, and we're going to continue to put those guys in those situations as much as we can.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we wish you guys the best of luck as that all continues, and we'll talk to you real soon. Glad to have you back on the show with us tonight.
Thanks, Brian. You take care.
Absolutely. Take care, Coach. All right. Well, listen, Matt, we're going to head off to a quick commercial break, pause for a quick station ID. When we're back, we're going to be joined by Carlos Irizarry of the Bryant baseball team. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to 990 WBOB. Welcome back to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour on 990 WBOB. It's the final segment of tonight's episode. Before we get into it, we just want to tell you to join the WBOB team this spring, watching your Bulldogs at Burns Stadium. Single game tickets for men's and women's lacrosse are now on sale at BryantTickets.com. For more on the Bulldogs, listen right here to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour. Now on the show for our final guest of the evening is Carlos Irizarry from the Bryant baseball team. Carlos, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
Doing great, Carlos. Glad to have you joining us here. Well, a great weekend for you guys, getting 2 out of 3 from NJIT, and a great weekend for yourself. Just a great week in general with 2 home runs and really making some plays, for the Bulldogs. Just we'll kind of just open up with your thoughts on the team and kind of how things have been going.
Yeah, it's a really fun team. We like to play with a lot of energy, which makes it fun, and I think it's just a resilient team. We found ourselves a lot of times this season just down in games, but we really feel like we're never out of it. And I think that says a lot about the guys, how much confidence we have in each other, how much confidence the coaches have in us, and just that's what you want to see out of a team like us who is looking to make a good run into the postseason.
Absolutely. You know a thing or two about making a good run in the postseason. You did that during your time with Penn State Harrisburg, making 3 NCAA tournaments. When you made the move to transfer here and obviously coming here now, what is that kind of like for you, experiencing it at a different level, but, kind of coming here with that same intensity, same idea?
Yeah. Like you said, I was fortunate enough to host 3 regionals at Penn State Harrisburg, and I've always said when people ask, regional baseball it's the most fun, exciting, nerve-wracking time ever, even at a lower level. And I remember, being on my visit here while in the transfer portal and talking with Coach Kostiw and what I can bring, and it's just that experience. I think that's the biggest thing. Talking to young guys, even older guys who have been here, is just what it takes to win in playoffs. Because at that point it's every man for himself on what it feels like, and just having that experience of being in that position throughout my career. That's what I feel like I can help a lot to this team.
Absolutely. You're one of a few guys on this team that have made the transition from Division III to Division I this year. We've interviewed a couple of them on this show. Aiden Vining, for example, and we've had a couple others as well. What for you, I guess, has really helped you in this transition, making your way into Division I baseball?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is collegiate summer leagues. I've been fortunate enough to play in some of the best summer leagues, and my going into my sophomore year of college, I played in the Appalachian League, which was filled with SEC guys. I had a roommate in that league, Marcus Phillip, who was a first rounder for the Red Sox, who's 100 to 102. So facing guys like that, I think that helps make the transition a lot easier. But then also just the fall. The fall is huge, for anybody. Just gelling well with the team, getting repetitions against guys who have done it at this level. So I think that's what helps a lot.
Absolutely. I know one of your other summer ball stops, being in New Britain, Connecticut. You had a chance to play with former Bulldog Matt Sonata. What was it like? What was your relationship with like with him? Did he ever talk to you about Bryant? Any thoughts there?
Yeah, he was awesome. He was one of the main, helpers that got me here.
Yeah.
I went in the portal that summer, and Zanata mentioned, he was like, hey, like Bryant, I played there. Kostyw's awesome, really competitive team. That could be a good spot. And I'm from Northern Virginia, so I didn't know much about Bryant. But then looking into the program, seeing all the success, and Zanata, definitely, he helped me a lot, and we still keep in touch. We text all the time, and he's been out the campus a few times to catch practices and games, so he's a great resource.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about, talking with Coach Kostiw and him really influencing that decision. What particularly about those, early conversations really, I guess, pushed you to choosing Bryant, coming here to Smithfield?
Yeah, I think it's what he's done for this program, and numbers don't lie. This program wins, which is something that I think everyone wants to do, but it's also just who he is as a person, how much he cares. That's a big factor. He told me his story, when he was going through the college process. He was a guy who was overlooked a little bit, and so he's always had a ton of respect for lower level guys. So I think just sort of having that family aspect, and him showing how much he cares about his players, that really helped make the decision super easy.
Absolutely. You guys, coming off a great series against NJIT, also got the win at URI and had really been cruising as of late. I know you guys got the in-state matchup with Brown tomorrow, and then shipping up to Orono, Maine for a battle up there. When looking at the road ahead, I guess, how do you guys keep this momentum going?
Yeah, I think it's just the everyday excitement of being able to go out there and play with the boys. I mean, I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of fun playing, so I think it makes it easy to, I guess, win and play well when you truly are out there having fun, and playing a game that's truly a kid's game. It's tough sometimes, battling failure, having those struggles, having those 0 for droughts, but having a group of guys that's always there for each other, and always making each other laugh. That's what makes it easy, and it makes it very easy to look forward to playing the next days.
Carlos, our first guest of the evening, Tristan Hobbes, really talked about you guys having a relentless attitude, and day in and day out, and for you guys having to be on the road for the start, for the vast majority to start your season. How do you guys, I guess, you kind of spoke about it with this upcoming stretch, but really to start a year, how do you stay locked in and really kind of stay composed, maybe when you're not playing at home for the first couple weeks or even a month or so?
Yeah, no, it's definitely tough. It's hard to play on the road, but I think, guys get excited of new opportunities, playing at new fields, playing at new facilities, and at the same time, just, being out of class and just being with the guys, and being able to go play the game we love, that makes it a lot easier. And then, consistency is just the name of the game. It's, every day just trying to get better, improve a little bit, try to work to see how consistent we really can be.
Bryant Baseball will be back in action tomorrow down at Brown University. Carlos, thank you for joining us once again.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Take care, Carlos.
Thank you too.
All right, that was Carlos Irizarry of the Bryant Baseball team on with us. Matt, obviously great show tonight, talking a lot of Bryant Baseball, touched on some Bryant football there as well. Any thoughts from you before we sign off?
Well, Brian, I think this was one of the best shows we've had.
Yeah, it was a lot of great
guests.
Yeah, it was a great show,
Matt. Tonight.
Yeah, it was great to have Tristan back on the show. Coach Merritt is always a good friend of the program. Glad to have him back on as well. And then Carlos really capping things off here with Bryant Baseball. It was great to kind of see everything, kind of go the way it was. And, really excited for, the future of that baseball program, trying to get back to the height of America East, falling just short against Binghamton last year and, having a chance to win it in 2024. So they'll be vying to get back to that spot this year. They got a good squad ready to do it, so we can't wait to see what they do the rest of this season. But as we said, they have an in-state rivalry matchup with Brown tomorrow at 3:30 p.m., so we look forward to seeing that. But, Matt, we really appreciate the time. We really appreciate being back on air here. We'll be back next week with another great slate of guests from the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour. We will talk to you next week. Take care and peace out.